It's Mod Pizza time. This Seattle-born company delivers a fresh spin on pizza, giving a portion of its sales to nonprofits and keeping the food fast while keeping it real. Can this private purpose-led pizza maker cook up a new way to enjoy America's favorite comfort food?
This is a show about stocks, but sometimes if you want to understand where a given industry is really headed, you need to check in with privately held companies that are doing something groundbreaking. Which brings me to Mod Pizza, an intriguing chain that was founded in 2008, now has 110 locations, 16 states. Here's a company that's doing for pizza what I think Starbucks did for coffee or what Chipotle did for burritos. Mod is all about making authentic, fresh, handmade, artisanal pizza, super fast, by the way, while giving customers the option to add all sorts of toppings without making them pay extra. They care deeply about making their stores a fun place to eat and hang out to the point where they won't do delivery. They think their pizza tastes best straight out of the oven. I agree. Plus, they've devoted themselves to making Mod a great place to work, and they also pay their employees very well. You might think this congenial-sounding business model wouldn't work, but the reality is that Mod Pizza has been growing like a weed. And just today, the company announced a new round of funding, raising $32 million, which they plan to use to double their store count this year. So let's take a closer look with Scott Svensson. He's the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Mod Pizza. Learn more about this very cool concept. Mr. Svensson, welcome to Mad Money.
Hi,
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay, when I went to work, I said, well, you know what? This does sound a lot like some of the guys that you know we revere, Chipotle and Starbucks. Yep. And it's fitting that you spent a lot of time in Starbucks.
I did. Company I admire hugely. I had a great opportunity. My wife and I built a coffee business in the UK, and they ended up buying it from us. And so I got to work with Howard and the team there for a couple of years. Great company.
All right, would this concept work for any particular food? Why is pizza the right thing to do?
Well, for us, the insight was when we started looking at this in 2007, we noticed that pizza, this huge industry, $40 billion in revenue, second biggest category behind burgers, had a shocking lack of innovation over the last 30 years. And so for us, it was a simple combination of bringing that fast casual lifestyle, that fast casual concept, to a category that people love, which is pizza. And so for us, that was the spark that led us to try bringing that concept to pizza. In 2008, we opened our first store.
Well, now you're paying people better. Yep. You're trying to build a collegial team-building atmosphere.
Yep.
Use all the freshest ingredients. How the heck can you make money in a thin-margin business like this?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, at the end of the day, we need to make sure we're delivering great value to our customers.
Right.
Really, really important. But the beauty is if you can get the volumes right, which is a really important part of the equation, take care of and engage your team so that they care as much about the outcome as you do. The business tends to take care of itself, and we generate great margins.
I thought there was something that was special I want to talk about. You have a particular brand of loyalty that you're inspiring. You give people a second chance, which is something that I've preached for years. You're the first company I've heard want to do this. Just tell me about it.
Yeah, so what we found early on is when we started to build this, first we wanted to decide, was this a business that was capable of being grown and being successful? After we opened our first 4 stores, we realized this was a concept we could scale. We'd had the experience scaling several other businesses, and we thought we could now build a big business. But we sat down and we asked ourselves a question: what would it take to make dedicating the next 10 years of our life worth investing in building a chain of pizza
restaurants? You can do anything. You're very successful. Starbucks, you got a lot of people on your board that are really incredible. I mean, everyone's made a lot of money. Everyone's done well. So you're trying to do something different.
Right. And so my wife at the time said the last thing the world needs is another chain of pizza restaurants.
Right.
So what would make it worthwhile? And we said, well, what happens if we use this business where we could open restaurants in communities throughout the country? What if we could use it to make a positive social impact? And that's when the spark really hit, where we said, this is something we could pour ourselves into for the next 10 years. And it came to be about the people, making a difference in their lives. As we started to grow, we attracted some people who had tough backgrounds where they wouldn't have necessarily had the opportunity to be employed at a place like Mod.
Okay.
We brought them in, and they did phenomenally well. They became loyal, they became passionate, and they made a huge difference. They become culture carriers at Mod, and they've made us realize that this is a category of employees that if you get behind them and believe in them more than they believe in themselves, they can make a huge difference.
Okay, now, I don't know how you're incentivizing these people in terms of if you ever came public, but is the goal, when you do a financing round like you, I just heard, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, my thinking is, look, if I were another chain that was large and trying to be in another group side, say Mexican food, I would buy Mod. I mean, do you want to grow this? Do you want to be bought? I mean, what's the plan?
Yeah, so it's a great question. We've talked about whether or not being public in the future makes sense for us. And this is the way we think about it. My wife and I have had success with a couple of other businesses, so we're not into this to just have a payday. What we're into this for is to try to build a business that we have 4 boys. We want to build a business that they can be proud of, where they can turn around 10, 20 years from now and say, I'm really proud of the fact my mom and dad were involved with Mod. And so for us, it's whatever we do, how we fund it, and how we build it is very much about keeping that purpose alive and making sure that we can really make a difference with Mod.
But when I read your back, I thought some of it's franchised, some of it's owned by you.
Yeah.
Franchises, why would they want to hold to this standard?
Yeah, it's great. We've been really selective. Right now we have 110 stores trading. 95 of them are company owned, right? So vast majority. But we've gone out and found some fantastic operators who, when they sat down and really heard about what we're doing and how we're doing it, they got really excited because these guys have been around a long time and they understand that if you take care of your people, they'll take care of the business. And because they saw that we were really dedicated to it, they've gotten behind it 100%.
Well, you're not public yet, so I'm going to say it. You are a winner. And I want to go to Mod, and if I'm not allowed to invest in anything, but this is the kind of thing I want to do. That's Scott Spence. He's the co-founder and CEO of Mod Pizza. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on Mad Money.
Appreciate
Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.